Crypto enthusiasts and the ETF industry are bracing for the start of trading of the first Bitcoin futures ETF on Tuesday.
So do we or don't we exceed the prior high?
I live in that world saying, okay, how do we get the forms out? How do we get the 1099s? How do we make sure these people never get in trouble? That's the value of WonderFi. You know, I was a very vocal non-advocate back in 2017 because I'm forced to live in a world. I service pension funds and institutions with indexing. We are 100% compliant 100% of the time. And my first purchase was not in our operating company. I just bought some Ethereum and some Bitcoin in a wallet myself back in 2017. And one day just talked about it on television, on business press. And my compliance officer called me up while I was still in the green room saying, "Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? You know, we cannot have this dialogue and because we're going to get a call." And sure enough, we did. And what's changed is the regulatory environment, because I don't have the option to be non-compliant. I don't even have that at all. But slowly and surely, in other jurisdictions first, Switzerland, Germany, France, Australia, England, Canada, which has allowed ETFs now with Ethereum and with Bitcoin. So I changed when the regulator changed. And I'm very interested in crypto now as an asset class. And let's say you're running a $1 billion mandate, which is a typical mutual fund or ETF or whatever. And generally, if you're compliant with your own compliant department, there's 11 sectors in the S&P, for example. You're allowed to go up to 20% in any one sector and up to 5% in any one name. That's generally how it works. I argue today that crypto is the 12th sector of the S&P. That's what it is. It doesn't mean I have to have everything in Bitcoin, and I don't want to have everything in Bitcoin. I want to have a portfolio of crypto, coin, chain, tokens, whatever is compliant. And what's going to happen here, and what we need to do, and why I'm so happy we have these dialogues and these conferences, think about the typical institution. Every night at 4:01, they mark to market every position they have. The internal compliance department sees it. How much leverage is used, what the positions are. Is it within mandate, not over 5%, whatever it is. Then their external auditors come in on a weekly or quarterly or annual basis and sign those audited statements. Then they issue that report to the regulator. We don't have that infrastructure in crypto right now. On this stage, there's two guys trying to do it, Sam at FTX and Jeremy here with Circle. And I'm definitely involved with both of them because I want to be getting that. But it took me months just to get my first purchase done on Circle with my own compliance department barking at me like a dog saying, no, we can't do this. And I'm saying, we got to do it. We got to get there. We have to figure it out. And my auditor and the regulated reports we put out. And it's working. Same with Sam. I want to build a portfolio on FTX, because it's big enough that I can be compliant. I'm saying to everybody on this, if we solve this, there's trillions of dollars coming into this in the 12th sector of the S&P. That's what it's going to be. So that's our job. We got to solve for compliance. It's boring, but it really matters. In our operating company, about 18 months ago, we reduced our exposure to commercial real estate, and it generated a lot of cash. We went to our cash desk and said, what can we do on short duration? And they said 20 basis points, 21 basis points. Inflation is 2%. So that was the first time I said, wait a minute, this isn't going to work. And we started to look at platforms like FTX and Circle to try and solve for that. That's what got me into stable coins, because we started to explore that. But if you're a consumer and you're 18 years old and you're making zero in your bank of whatever account, and you want to actually get some yield that keeps pace with inflation, you can't it's not easy to set yourself up unless you're really out there in the crypto community. WonderFi is going to attempt, and I think it's going to do a great job, to really simplify this for anybody. An app-based product, you download it, you ACH X dollars into your account, it writes the contracts for you. It generates the 1099 for compliance. It does everything you have to do to stay compliant, even as a regular individual being taxed in whatever jurisdiction you're using it in. And that's the beginning of it. I'm very fortunate. I took it public a couple of weeks ago, and now it was well received. It's one of the very first public DeFi consumer platforms in the world. It's in Canada, where the regulator is very accommodative. It will soon be in Germany, and we will continue to do it around the world. And then, have the different use cases for it. I'm very interested in NFTs, for example, but not every NFT. I'm investing in NFTs for high-end watches. There's a community of people out there that have billions of dollars tied up in watches. They're all insane. I'm one of them. And we want to be able to have a way to authenticate our inventory of ones we own with the maker approving it. I want the WonderFi app to also be able to allow people to easily own those NFTs without knowing anything about, how to set up a wallet or anything else. It's attempting to simplify it. Now, I'm very fortunate. I have a very large social media following. I'm getting a lot of, feedback from our base. Josh Richards, who's a phenom on TikTok, is an investor, as well as Sam. I think he supports the democratization of this. And we're very excited about where this is going. But it's really about simplifying it and making it really easy. I mean, we're all tuned and excited about crypto, but it's not easy to use, and it's nearly impossible to be compliant. You cannot afford not to disclose your capital gains and your income, if any, to the tax man. I don't care if you're 18 or 84. I'm the compliant guy. I live in that world saying, okay, how do we get the forms out? How do we get the 1099s? How do we make sure these people never get in trouble? That's the value of WonderFi. Somehow over the last, 2 years, the popular press positioned the crypto community as an adversary to regulators globally. And that's simply not true. And it's very stupid because probably some large percentage of the constituency in this room is somehow tied to financial institutions one way or another. And we have not even tapped, it's so nascent. There's so many institutions that don't even play in this space, although they want to. And the primary reason is their compliance departments and the tone of that relationship between the crypto community and the regulator. And every week we hear another case of somebody in a position of power, let's call it that's running a large crypto company, striking out at the regulator. Really bad idea.